YouTube before I forget, because I'm going to forget, knowing me. But not today. Today I did not forget. How's it going? How's it going? Out of bounds hole in Oxtail level. Bug can't get all secrets challenge in shipping. There, that's a red bug. That one's blue. We got the list. I'm gonna say that's blue. We have the list. Here is the list. We still have a lot of things we need to do for a bunch of the levels. Need to get to that ASAP. Yesterday, I added a setting to turn off the weapon pickup, as someone requested that. This list is getting kind of long. Can I, like, collapse this? Is there a way to, like, make a collapsible list? A toggle list. Already released patch notes. Already beta released patch notes. Yes. There we go. Nice. What's the release date, you reckon? Well, I still need to work on the announcement trailer. I'm waiting on the key art. I'm waiting on the localization to be done as well. I think this is fixed. Yeah. I have to update the website, although I'm not too worried about that, to be honest. I'm more so worried about just making sure all these bugs are out of the way. So then that way, you know, when we release, we don't have any complaints about the bugs. If you have a typo and felt not enough of a reason to make a full update and then bump into a collision issue where the player could just walk out of the map, suffice to say, had to make a new build. You know, funny enough, someone just let me know that they can walk out of the map in the wrong spot somewhere in Oxtail. Let me take a look here. Let me take a look here. What's going on? Hello there. Is it still April 6th? Yes, it is. So where is this out of bounds spot? Is it right here? I'm going to assume it's right. Is that the image? Yes. It's right there. That's the out of bounds spot. Let's put a rock there. I got an idea. Let's just put a rock there. Yeah, let's put a rock there. Just a random rock. You know what I mean? Not that one. This one. What the? What the? Oh. I have now placed an infamous rock here to stop the player from going out of bounds. Additionally, what I'll do as another factor is I'll put a blocking volume there as well. We still on track for a Q2 2025 release? Guys, we're getting there. Okay, listen. I'm just squashing 5 million bugs right now, alright? I'm just squashing a lot of bugs. Alright? We squashing bugs here, okay? We squashing lots of bugs. So this is one spot that I want the player to be able to get out of, because there's a secret out there. It's a little bit diabolical, but maybe we should add another spot where the player can kind of escape. Oh, what the fuck? I forgot about this one. I forgot about that one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're past Q2. Or, well, we're getting very close to past to Q2. Oh, there's another secret up here? Dude, this is diabolical. We're 100% gonna get complaints. They're gonna be like, where the fuck is everything? So, weirdly enough, they are on the sub-level. Which doesn't look like it's that huge of a problem. Like, it might be okay for it to be on the sub-level. What I'm concerned about is this secret count might be adding on top of itself constantly if it's in the sub-level. I'm trying to think here. Like, I might want to put this on the persistent level, actually, so it only loads once. But that might not be a solution. In fact, that might not be a solution at all, now that I think about it. Does not contain the secret on the save slot. But it is contained in here. Add it to the value, and then destroy it. But what if it's already added to it? Is the secret just going to reappear? Is a block and volume a fancy word for invisible plane? Invisible box, because it's a box. Although I think you can technically change the shape of it. But yeah, it's basically just a collision box. It's nothing crazy, you know? That's all it really is. That's all it really is. Okay. Where the hell am I? I don't know where I am. Okay, so I have a problem here. It's possible that when we load into this level, this is already added to the stats, but this happens. So then it doesn't delete itself? Which makes me a little concerned. Okay. It's not going to be despawned anymore. Or it shouldn't be. Let's just double check. Yeah. Well, what's the problem then, huh? What's the problem then? And then we add a unique value. Okay. Well, One thing I am concerned about is when you finish a level, I guess it's not really checking for if you found all of the secrets. So I need to find out why that's not happening. Same day shipping. Find all of the secrets. 3. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid. No wonder nobody can finish it. Because it says there's 3, but there's only 2 in the level. Am I dumb? Am I stupid? Okay, so I gotta find a third. Well, that would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense. Can't get all in shipping. Forgot to put a third secret in the level. Yeah, I'm a bit stupid, I will admit. You know, I will admit, I'm a little dumb. Okay, where do we put secret numero 3? Where would secret numero 3 go? I think here could be kind of cool. On top of here. What do you guys think? Nobody tell anybody, okay? Nobody tell anybody. Let's put a crate up there. And then let's put some hanging cloth on the edge there. So then you know to go up there. Is that enough of a signal? I don't know. I'm not a level designer. I'm an idiot. Okay, cool. And then we could put another secret there. Now, what I'm worried about is, why is this shit fucking being weird? For some reason, some people aren't able to find this one.
Shit my pants, I did.
Maybe it's fine and it works. It's just maybe it's the user experience isn't very explainable, I guess, or self-explainable. Like once you find the secret, you found the secret. You know, you don't need to find it again. Maybe that's the problem. Almida, thank you for the 38 months. How's it going? Like there's nothing different between these two actors. So. Yeah. So this shall be shipping 3 because I'm too lazy to make a different name. So no wonder they're not able to finish the damn thing. You know, Monta, how's it going? Not too bad. Not too bad. We're getting through all these silly bugs. I'm really glad people are playing the beta branch and helping me out with all of this bug fixing. Like I would not have been able to find all of these things on my own. So that should hopefully, you know, it's really funny. We were getting a ton of reviews like throughout the development of the game where people are like, game's good, but a little buggy. And I'm like, wait, where's the bugs? Like, what bugs? Like, I know there's some bugs with like ragdolling and shit like that. But then after looking at this list, I'm like, ah. Now, it doesn't help that some of the bugs are third person related, some of the new features, you know, stuff like that, right? So like, it's not 100% applicable, but hopefully we fix most of the bugs where people are like not saying it's buggy, I guess, if that makes sense. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Okay, so we added the third secret. I think the thing is maybe players picked up this secret and they didn't know that they picked it up. And then that's why they're confused. They don't see it anymore because like once you find it, you found it. Hold on. Let's see here. Does it contain the secret name and not contained in the run? I don't see this breaking. I turned off despawning, so it shouldn't delete itself anymore. Or maybe it is getting despawned? I don't know, man. It'd be funny if the collectible is a dog. Someone mentioned that they wanted a dog in the, I guess in the main menu. Listen, man, I'm not gonna model a dog. I would love to do stuff like that where it's like the more challenges you get, the more shit starts appearing in your like base of operations kind of thing. Maybe it gets fancier and whatnot. Like that would be cool. It goes from like concrete to like really fancy, you know, fucking background. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is there something else that's potentially destroying the item pickups? First gameplay, then polish. If not, it'll end up in feature creep. I have not been adding any features. I've just been adding like quality of life settings that people want. This one I'm going to add in. I want to make it so the camera movement blends between the enemy that you're executing and the player character. I think that should make the camera look a lot nicer in third person. And I wanted to do this for the trailer actually because I was looking at it and I was like, it looks really weird that it's like still attached to you, I guess. So that might be an adjustment that I make. Just put an icon on the mission if the secret is discovered, not like a lock or something. On the main menu, there is a counter. So we have a whole stat screen. When you click there, you can see secrets found. Oxtail says it has 3 secrets. Does Oxtail have 3 secrets? 1, 2, and the third in the container. Yeah, okay, so that one does have 3. Okay, good. I had to double check there. Like, don't get me wrong, it would be cool to like see your base of operations upgrade and shit like that, but I can't be bothered doing that shit. I can't. It'd be cool, but you know, oh well. I feel like there's other things that I would rather focus on, like adding controller haptics, like being able to have vibration and shit like that. I feel like that would be way more beneficial and worthwhile to spend some time on. Let's see. So where are we at? Oh yeah, the secrets being weird. Being weird. Why is it being weird? Let me check the this is what I want to look for. The game instance. I want to see if no, I don't think so. Item pickup. Let's see if there's any references to it. Maybe there's something destroying the item pickup on restart. Which would be stupid because it's only supposed to... Here we have the system for picking it up. We add the unique value to the persistent level. We do a bunch of good stuff. Here we have the begin play. So one thing I am concerned about is we constantly keep adding this to here. What we should do is actually do a second check and see if it actually, if this is false, but it is contained in the secrets in the run save slot, we should destroy it. Hopefully I don't break anything. If this is contained, I'm gonna have to read this just so I don't cause any issues. So if false, then we check here, is the secret contained in the run save slot? Okay, if it is contained currently, then that means we want to hide this and destroy it. And then we should be good. So in a sub level, this should be fixed. But why does it disappear? It would only disappear if these two are true. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, now that I know I was stupid and forgot to put in a third secret in that level, I believe we should be on track to make that work again. So I want to say that task is done. Did I already put it in the list? Oh, I did. Out of bounds hole in Oxtail level, we also fixed that as well. I think this is done. I could probably delete that. All right, cool. Let's do that camera thing that we want to do for the executions. Let's do that next. That's the next thing on the chopping block, I would say. Is Super Hour coming to console? Maybe Xbox? I am going to be working towards probably Xbox. I don't know about PlayStation. PlayStation's a bit of a harder process that I don't think I could do right now. Unless I can maybe get like a publisher to do it, to do PlayStation. But no promises. You have Tentry? I also made a setup yesterday for when I do the trailer stuff. I kind of like smoothed the camera, and it's funny because smoothing the camera didn't actually smooth the aiming. The aiming is raw, and then it made me wonder, should I add a setting for players if they want to smooth their camera? I don't know. Because it kind of looks cool, because the crosshair, it does that kind of thing that some games have, where the crosshair, let me show you guys. The crosshair is kind of separated from the center of the screen. And I feel like that could look kind of cool. Let me see, where, right here. You guys can let me know if I should put it in as a setting. I probably wouldn't make it the default, but like, it's like not centered. Which is kind of interesting. Maybe a separate setting to control the smoothing of the actual aiming as well. Right, I could add a different like camera speed or something. I could see some people maybe liking that. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I maybe wouldn't do this much if I were playing with it. but it's kind of cool. For at least for the trailer, I think it'll look sweet having that kind of smoothing in there. So maybe that might be a setting I could put in. I thought you only streamed on Twitch. I used to, Tentry. I am now doing multi-streaming actually. So streaming both on Twitch and YouTube. A double whammy. It was a Zahib. About third person mode, is that out yet, or is there an option I have to use? You can try it out on the beta branch, but obviously it's pretty buggy. There's quite a few bugs. It's the same game, Tentry. I added a third person mode like a psychopath. So I ended up going through the efforts of making the game multi-perspective. Which has been a fun little experience. And it seems like a lot of people are enjoying it, so... yeah. Boom! Thanks for the raid, man. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, something I want to do is I want to make the camera move to where the execution's occurring, so then that way the camera isn't staying so still, because it kind of looks really weird. Oh, did I double hit him with that kick? I think I did. You can double hit with that? I don't know if I meant to do that. You can you know what? It's cool. I'll leave it in. That's fine. But yeah, boom. How'd your stream go? Hope it went well. You eat mannequins that bleed? I made them bleed. Secretly, inside of them, they actually don't have red blood. It's actually purple. I don't know why the melee attacks are playing the metal sound. I don't know why. We have a sound effect for when you get a headshot, but for some reason, it's playing even when... oh, shit. I don't know if I commented it. Maybe it's in the enemy. Maybe. It is. Damage source. Arrgh. Damage source does not equal... ugh, why did I make it text? Why did I do that to myself? Melee. So that should no longer play with melee. It should only play with a gun now. Fighting Unreal Physics settings, need to get away from the computer. Oh, dude. Yeah, I don't blame you. That's something you need, like, 3 cups of coffee when dealing with that. And maybe, like, a therapist on speed dial or something. Does the character also get dirty with the blood of the characters he hits? He does not. If we get extra time, I wouldn't mind adding details like that. Like, even, like, walking through the blood puddles, you, like, start having bloody footsteps. I think that could be kind of cool. But we don't have any effects like that, unfortunately. Fortunately, don't got any of those kinds of effects. Okay, so what I wanted to work on is moving the camera when we're in third person while we're executing. How can I go about doing that? The spring arm is at 0, 0, and 69. That's so awfully specific. Why is it 69? Okay. What's the best, cleanest way of doing like a gameplay camera during specific events? What's the right way of doing that? What's that box collision doing? Whenever enemies enter this box collision, we basically, it does multiple things. Initially, it was just for moving the camera in top down, specifically in direction. So if there's an enemy here, we kind of average it out so the camera starts shifting in that direction. But now it also is used for basically calculating how many enemies are like within like a kind of a melee space, like a danger space, and then the other enemies would stay outside of it. So then that way there's a bit of spacing going on. So it's multi-purpose now. Is it the best way of doing it? Probably not. I don't know. There's better ways of doing everything when you think about it. So using the new gameplay camera stuff in UE5. I know there's that whole system, albeit I don't know how it works. But how can I make my own camera system? I wonder. I can see the Punisher and John Wick mods already. Man, I would love to make this game moddable. I just don't know what the steps would be to help modders with getting their hands on this. The thing I don't know if it's even worthwhile for modders to get like invested in it, because I do think like there's so many missing pieces to this game that I think would make it better, and it's not at that level where I think people would mod it a lot. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's not sandboxy enough, you know what I mean? I feel like it's lacking some elements that I would consider as like a sandbox material. A state machine? Is that what it would essentially be? Just a state machine? Like I can put it in the event tick. That's not a problem. We could just put it in the event tick. You know, not a huge deal. Here we have a calculate camera offset, which calculates all the time. Interesting. Even in, supposedly, even while we're in third person, we could probably save some computation by disabling that when we don't need it. Anyways, third person crosshair. So here we do third person. I'm going to move this down at the bottom, and then in then 8, we can do a collapse node for this kind of execution. Is that the right way of doing it? Nah, probably not. Is it the way I'm going to do it? Yeah. Is there a better way of doing a gameplay camera? Yeah, probably. Let's actually collapse this. This is gonna annoy me. Enemy grapple tick. There we go. Set laser location tick. There we go. Now we're talking. Peace. There we go. Yes. Peace at last. This is how I hide. This is how I hide all of my spaghetti code, by collapsing it into a graph. You know, Scotty. Edit this stuff, player location. Okay, that was me, I think, testing something. It clearly did not go well. So I want to set the camera to a location. We want to do a set relative location. Actually, we want to do two states. First off, we want to check, are we in third person, which I believe is game.thirdperson mode. Then we also want to check, well, are we executing an enemy? Enemy being executed. Check if this is valid. Oh, we are coding. You're coding out of our wazoo. Let's say if it's false, we probably want to set the relative location of our spring arm back to its original state. I would say we're going to do a v-interp2. We have delta time x in there, delta time x. Is this the right way of doing it? Probably not. But let's do it anyways. Interp speed will be 10. We want it to be quick, snappy. Current's going to be getting the relative location. And then the target is going to be 69, baby. I don't know why it's specifically that height, but it is what it is, I guess. Then the true state is going to be, again, setting the relative location. We are going to get the location of the enemy being executed. We're going to get their mesh. And we're going to get their bone location of, I'd say, spine 02. And then right way, if it works, it works. The only thing I don't like about this is this v-interp2 is not like a one-off. We're running it through event tick, which means this is going to constantly run, even if it's already set at the location. I guess what we could do is we could do a check here. Hey, is the relative location of this, does it not equal our goal of 69? Which I don't know if that's the right way of doing it. But fuck it. Let's also go ahead and collapse this as well. Collapse node. May want to use nearly equal. I was thinking about that. The thing is, if I use nearly equal, if it's like a value of 1, yeah, maybe I might want to put like a decimal place. 3 pp cam interp executions. Like this might even be a good system for just cam interp in general. Like maybe we use it for multiple things, not just executions, but for now we'll just do it here. We'll do near equal, almost, not equal exactly. Not equal. There we go. We'll do a placement of 0.1. I think 0.1 should be pretty accurate. The thing is, though, if we do 0.1, it's possible this gets up to 68.9. Whatever, man. Who gives a fuck? Well, whatever, man. Who cares? So we're going to get the socket location of spine. I think for us, we'll do spine 03, because I believe that's kind of where our camera is. Actually, our camera's on our head. Let's do head. Let's try head. Yeah, I would love to figure out how to do like a proper. I guess I could just use UE5 system because I would love to do like a bunch of camera stuff in Ronin if and whenever I work on Ronin again, which I would like to. I think that'd be kind of cool, but I would definitely go way more in the direction of what the game was really inspired by, which is very kind of Star Wars-y. After seeing Arc Raiders, I'm like, dude, it's so sick. It reminds me so much of Star Wars without being Star Wars IP. I wonder if we could use state tree for it. Maybe, because you can use state tree for things that are non-AI, right? Or non-enemy behavior. Yeah. Good, Flick. Do you have any tips on level design? I was trying to make a new level today, but everything was like 1,000 times too big. Constantly test. Constantly use, you can set up, so here I have a size reference and I just hit the backslash button, the one next to, above the enter key. You can set that up in, I want to say editor preferences, and it's, what did I call it? What is it called? I think it's in miscellaneous. No, it's not. Anybody know where that is? Appearance? What is that called? I don't remember. Oh, I saw something. Here it is. In preview meshes, you can put a player mesh in here. You should get a player mesh, just a static mesh of a size reference. And you can hit shift backslash to cycle between them. And then you can start using this everywhere. And it's great. You went live when I got off work. What is this black magic? It's just the world aligning, man. I don't know what to tell you. Now, like if you have a problem with that specifically, I would say that helps. Use just references. If you don't want to do that, just get your fucking player character and just slap them everywhere. Or get like a really simple static mesh that's like your size ref and use that. And then, you know, don't go in blind, right? Test frequently, that kind of stuff. And if you have spaces that are too big, then just make them a bit smaller. And just try to explain to yourself, why are you making the space big? How can you make it feel smaller even though it's still big, right? You can still like, a space looks big when it's empty. But then once you start putting furniture and objects inside of it, it doesn't look as big. So that's something to also consider. Or scale the player up. Sure, I don't know. Listen, I'm not your dad. You can do whatever you want. Just scale the fucker up. Okay, hold on. So we're getting the world space of both of these. What we need to do is add them together. Then divide them by 2 to get a in-between value. And then we need to transform this from a location of world space to local space. Would it be world transform of the spring arm? No, it'd be actor transform. I actually don't know. Would this be actor transform to give us a relative location, or a relative location for the? I think. I don't know. Let's just fucking try it out, man. Another vinterp. We're going to want to use this as the current value. Target is going to be this. We're going to do a speed of like say 6, or let's try 5. Put that in there. Let's see what happens. What do we work on now? We're making the third person camera feel a bit better when you're executing enemies. Yeah, that feels pretty cool. But does it mess with our aim? I feel like it kind of does mess with our aim a little bit. Hmm. And then in that animation, we like, oh, it gets really low. Make an anim notified to blend out early from the execution. Yeah, I could do something like that. Instead of checking if the enemy's being executed, maybe I check for something else. Let me check the executions. Like, how are we doing the executions? Let's say I'm doing a knife execution. I think we already set the enemy being executed here. On completed, we set executing enemy to false. On blend out, what do we do on blend out? What are we resetting? Executing enemy on blend out. Enemy being executed also gets cleared. We still have the move component too, though, in here. Shit. Didn't I move that before the move component too? Apparently not. So we have like a period of time that's kind of useless. I'm going to move this earlier. Hopefully it doesn't break anything. We'll find out. This could really get in the way of... My concern with doing this is it could really get in the way of the player's flow. You know what I mean? It could really get in the way of the player's flow. Like, that looks cool. Although, it really leans into the enemy rather than the player. So, maybe I can make it so it prioritizes the player over the enemy. How can I average that out so that it prioritizes the player a bit more? What would be the math there? What would be the math? Can you lerp that? Actually, Geo, now that you mention lerp, if I do a lerp, a vector lerp, and I have this value and I have this value, and then I have an alpha, and I do 0.75 without having to do an addition and division, does that technically do the same thing, but it actually leans more towards the direction of where our head is? I think that technically works, doesn't it? Doesn't that actually kind of work? That seems like it would work. You know, Sergey, I was watching a video of yours from like 2 years ago, and then the autoplay went to your stream. Glad to see things are still going well. They're going pretty good. Which video were you watching, Sergey, if you don't mind me asking? You know what I was looking at yesterday? I was looking at the Unreal forums again, and I find some fucking comment, and of course, it's a guy with like 2,000 posts. And he's like, this should work. Like, I was trying to figure out, can you set a interpolation with a specific time and then like figure out like the amount of seconds it would take for the interpolation to occur? And one guy's response was like, just use a lerp and then divide the delta time by the amount of seconds and then slap that into a lerp. So here's basically what he was saying. Do this, and then this is your like... this is your time in seconds. or some shit. I don't remember what it was. Or it was in here. It was, or no, hold on. No, it was this. It was this. This is what he said. And I'm like, you fucking idiot. This wouldn't work because this is just a static value. It's not going to do anything. That guy has 2,000 posts. And he's like an Unreal sage. They just give titles to anybody these fucking days, man. I was looking at that shit. It was like an old post. And I'm like, that wouldn't work. What do you mean? That's not how... Oh, it's so fucking funny. It's such a funny, the Unreal forums are such a funny place, honestly. It's such a funny place, man. This would just give you a static value. So I tested it out just to be, you know, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe something is wrong with me in my brain after 10 years. This just gives you 0.02. It's just static value, exactly as I thought. Unless your frame rate is fluctuating, then it would be not a static value, but this is not going to interpolate from 0 to 1 based on time in seconds. Fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Unless maybe they're saying that in time in seconds, you would feed that into a value and then you put that into the alpha value. But they didn't post that in their fucking thing. Yeah, the Unreal forums provide less help than Unity forums. Here's my opinion of the Unreal forum.
My pants, I did.
It's a bunch of pretentious motherfuckers that don't know what they're talking about 90% of the time. And it's really annoying. What happens when you run out of bullets when you execute these movements where you kill the enemy? Where are bullets used? I think ideally what happens when you don't have any bullets, what it'll do is it'll instead try to pick a like unarmed execution, and then it just gives you the bullets back. Where do they come from? I don't know. Harry Potter? Magic? Yaw, by the way, thank you for the prime, man. Thank you. I post on UE forums. Am I pretentious? No, I think there's just some, there's some people that are. They have this like vibe that they're like the best or something, and it's just kind of cringe. Unity forums has the opposite effect of all developers. They're being 14-year-olds without any experience or clue what they're doing. Oh, you watched the You're Learning Unreal Engine 5 wrong? Love the video to help me map out what I gotta learn with Unreal. Hey, hell yeah, man. I probably, once I finish this game, I'm gonna spend some time. I'm probably gonna spend some time. I've been working on a kind of like a little curriculum, like a self-teaching curriculum. And hopefully it'll look a lot nicer. I really don't like the way Notion formats stuff. I'm gonna be honest. I think after using it to try to make like a almost documentation type thing, I feel like it actually just looks like ass. I feel like 90% of the time I'm trying to fight the formatting in Notion to make tutorialized stuff like this. I did see there was a website for like GitHub style stuff. I think it was called GitLabs. Am I wrong? I've seen some people use it for the documentation. It actually looks really nice, with some better formatting at the very least. So I might move it over. The nice thing about Notion is that what am I trying to say? I can just publish the website for free, albeit it's like a really ugly looking link, but yeah. So I've been working on something like that. You know, like I have a double jump one that's kind of going through double jump, which mostly goes. The idea of all of these are lessons of specific features in the engine. So for this one, we're looking at things like vectors. We're looking at print string and debugging and stuff like that. Looking at the character movement component is a big one. Looking at the launch character node. Basically trying to teach people how to use specific, like the features that are exposed to them, and then like how they could potentially learn it, and then also kind of going through some some other stuff, right? So that's the idea. It's just very bare bones at the moment. So hopefully in the future I'll have that done. I wouldn't mind working on that. Do you use Obsidian? If not, you need to. I like Notion. I you know, to each their own, right? I think Obsidian is good. I've seen it. It's cool. For me, I just like Notion, so. You could just put it in a Git repo and then write it in Markdown. I could do that too. You have to learn how to set up JKLL or Hugo site if you want to use GitLab for hosting it. Will this be a $700 yearly subscription? Yes! No, it'll be free. It'll be free. All right, hold on. Let's take a look at this camera. How am I feeling about it? It goes so far down. Do you see how far down it goes? Hold on. Let me try an alpha of 0.9. I'm kind of confused as to why it's... Even though I did... Okay. Maybe we could do 0.85. You mean you don't have to, I don't have to sign up to a Patreon to access it? Nah, I'm not gonna... I don't care for monetizing educational stuff. When I do educational stuff, it's kind of like a way of like saying thank you to the past people that did so much teaching and shit like that. And, you know, I kind of just enjoy it. I kind of enjoy helping people when I can and when I have the time to. When someone is like really like begging for shit, that's kind of like annoying in some respects, and it happens sometimes, but it's mostly just because I want to do it, because I enjoy it, I guess. So, yeah. That's about it. And if people want to send me money, they can just fucking send it through the coffee link or something. I don't know. Or buy my game. There you go. You get a video game while you're at it. Yep. Yeah, I know I could probably make a lot of money on education. Doing like one-on-one stuff and whatever. And maybe I'll do one-on-one stuff in the future. I don't know. I don't really, like, I don't want to focus on education. I want to make a game studio. I want to make cool-ass fucking games that get up there. You know what I mean? That's my dream. I want to make a cool-ass fucking... I want to make a brand that becomes, like, modern-day cool brand. You know what I mean? Yeah, dreaming big. You know? You got to dream big. Obviously, like, I have minor goals within that to try to, like, get to that point, but... That would be cool, you know? Oh, hey, God Mode Interactive, they're making a new game. Like, that'd be cool, right? Do I have a link to the Notion stuff? I can post it. The only thing is, obviously, guys, this is, like, very early. So, if you guys want to check out the Notion page. I think the very first one is a pretty good one, getting started with the engine. It's kind of, like... This is what I would recommend to people, is like grab an asset on Fab that's free. Assetville Town, pretty good one because it gives you so much shit, and just play around with it. Just play around with it like it's Legos. I think that's the best way of like getting started, honestly. That's like the best first introductory to the engine, is kind of treating it like a little sandbox space. I'm not sure, Fluffed. I have no clue what I'm going to do next. I don't know what I'm going to do next. It could be like multiple games. We just work on multiple games. Say fuck it, you know? Screw it. You know, everyone says, oh, focus on one thing. Nah, what if we just work on 3 games? You know? Hey, fuck it. What's weird is that some comments on the YouTube chat aren't appearing in the chat. They're like getting filtered or something. But I can see it, like I can see it there, you know what I mean? Those ass hats remove customer reviews from the store. Yeah, I don't know, man. I love Unreal Engine, but Epic Games, the company behind it, I think I think the people that work there that are just employees, I think they're great. I think the executives are a problem. I don't know if Tim Sweeney is a part of that fucking list. Kind of feels like it is. Timmy, what's going on with you, Timmy? But I don't know what the fuck is going on over there. They need to change up a few things. Yeah. The only content creator I've seen that started with the random game dev videos and then actually managed to create a successful studio is Flow Studio, developer Lens Island. Epic grant revoked. You know, that's just my opinion. Maybe that's why they don't raid the stream anymore. Because I'm too vocal about it. I'm just upset about it. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many decisions that they can make to make it so much better. And yeah. Boom, bang, boom. There's one studio or one YouTube channel that I would say got really successful. I don't know if they technically started a studio. I think he's still kind of solo. Is Jonas Tyroller, right? Is it Jonas Tyroller? Was that his name? I don't remember. Jonas? Yeah. He also did some he got up there, man. His game like went all over to the point where people are making like mobile copies. You know? How goes the scope creep? Most of what we're working on right now is kind of like a little bit of polish, really. Polish, bug fixing, like all of these levels, it's all polish for the most part. There's a couple that are kind of gameplay related, like The Office. I want to make it so there's doors that open while you're like doing stuff. That would be something I'd like to do. Hell yeah, Sergey. Yeah, dude. I think for me, it's way cooler to see. Like, I like making games and I like seeing my finished products, but for me, it's about the journey. Like, I really enjoy working on it, right? I think there's something very satisfying about it. It's a lot more satisfying than trying to rank up in fucking Counter-Strike or something. But it's also extremely satisfying seeing others within the community also being able to do cool stuff too. And I think that's sick. And seeing people take the leap. Like we had people within the past 10 years or past few years, they would get AAA jobs, stuff like that. That's sick. I think that's super cool. Yeah. Do you think it's financially feasible to keep churning out small indie games like Chilia Arts? Chilia Arts. I don't know what that is. Chilia Arts. Chilia? 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 Did you mean child? No, I did not mean child. Chillas. I can't read. Oh shit. It's like a bunch of is it like a bunch of horror games? Is it financially feasible to keep churning out small indie games like this? I don't know. I've never done it. I would assume so based off of the pricing and based off of seeing how many reviews each one of these have. It would appear that they've definitely built up a brand from this because in every title they put the name. So people will immediately know what it is when they see it. I do think this is one of those situations where not everybody can get in on like the gold of doing this. This is like one of those situations where they built up like a brand and an identity for their games. And that, you know, that takes time. You know what I mean? It does take time. to get to that point. I think it's feasible. I don't know. I don't agree with people saying that game dev is like the most rarest thing. You're not going to make any money. I think the thing is you're not going to make any money if you're like not thinking about the business side of it, and you're not thinking about specific elements of it, and you're only doing it because you really love it. Well, you're only doing it because you're specifically only looking at your own mindset of it without looking at like how our player is going to see it, right? You know what I mean? Because there are people that make games just because they want to make it for themselves. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes that works out really well. Sometimes it doesn't, because they're not thinking about other features. Maybe they get tunnel vision on specific things. I think everyone can get into it, right? I think there's space for everybody to get into it. It's just like there is a bit of a barrier of entry to get there, to get to that point, because you got to make stuff that's good, or at least identifiable to this extent, right? Growing a brand, I think, is important. Yeah. Like a lot of people say, don't expect anything. Like, don't expect any money. I think they say that as a way of maybe subverting huge expectations people might have, which is fair. Nothing wrong with that, right? But I think a lot of people can do it. You just got to make some really good stuff. They also have a Patreon, which has around 7K members. Holy moly! Holy moly! Holy damn! Yeah, see, they've definitely built up like a brand, and that probably took them a while. Based off of what we were seeing there, this is over a time span of 4, 5, 6 years. 6 years. 7. Is this Evie? Is this the same person as well? Chilla's Art? Yep. Yeah, so I feel like this is one of the things where it's like they just kind of see they have some mostly negative games in here as well. Ouch. But it's funny because if you look through the progression of them releasing all of their releases, they went from having a lot of mixed releases and negative, and then look as their progression went, they improved at the skills that they were working on. They worked on their identity better, and you can see they're all at least mostly positive. We have some 73% in here. But it's funny kind of seeing that. You can kind of see some of their consistency grew as they got further into it. Yeah. You should make the games you want to play and think about how to market it and how to monetize it. Feels like people lack nuance when it comes to game dev. It seems like they take it as a passion versus money grab. No. I don't think there is one or the other. I think there is a very healthy balance between the middle. That's what I like to do. I like to work on games that I want to play, but at the same time, I also think, how are other people going to view it? You know what I mean? How are people going to see it? Is this something that is actually going to be potentially, warranting of attention? Like that's how I like to think about it. I like to balance the two of them because I think that's a good way of looking at it. Look at the latest game. It looks awesome. Let's see. Is that the one that's like going to be released, or are you talking about this one? Cursed Digicam. Dude, that looks fucking creepy. Ooh, that's creepy. Ooh, that's really creepy. Okay, that one looks a little stupid. I'm not gonna... All right, listen, this one was a lot creepier. That's straight up just nightmare fuel. But then this one, I don't know about that one. You know what I mean? Oh, shit. I would never go in the dark like that. Dr. Disrespect! Sorry, that was a bad joke. I'm sure his head would peek over there. They moved to Unreal for that one? Are all of the other ones in Unity? The thing is, though, they have such a different style here, right? It's kind of like a little bit of like that retro style, whereas over here, it's still retro, but at the same time, it also is not. So like the camera shows that retro feel, but then... And this has to be the creepiest shot. That shit's fucking creepy. This is like whatever. Yeah. That's cool. I would say anybody can potentially do this. It just, it's going to take a lot of patience and time, and a lot of what you're going to be doing is probably building up a brand, exactly like they're doing here. You're going to be building up a brand. Like, that's going to be a lot of it as well, and that does make it more challenging. Yeah. One just needs a viral hit and the Steam sales will help towards the next project. I don't think you necessarily need a viral hit either. Like, if I was using my time wisely, I think I could have maybe taken Suit for Hire into full release a lot sooner, and then potentially kept that momentum going into the next one. It didn't. I don't think it needs to necessarily blow up. I think it just needs to do good enough, right? And then obviously it depends on where you live in the world. That also is a huge factor of sustainability and how long, you know, you can work on stuff without having to do something and whatnot, right? Okay, the camera adjustment I think is fine. I think we're in a good state here. Unless maybe let's try some different. We could do both head for the sockets. Let's see if that looks good. Let me dismiss this. See, that goes so low, a little too low. It's a little too low for my liking. I almost need to limit it. Get actor location. Plus, let's try, instead of using our head as an attachment point, what if we maybe use the original camera location as the attachment point? That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. It blends in, but it's not like too invasive, so then that way you can get back into combat pretty well. Here we can maybe, let's try 75%. Let's try 75% there. And then let's do neck 01. Here's where I'm concerned. We might have to do a limiter here. Sometimes animations get pretty fucky. And it's not very good. Okay. I don't know. The animations are cool. Did I make them myself? I did not. There's a lot of marketplace assets. I made some animations myself, but I'm not going to say I didn't make the execution animations. Some of the execution animations was a past animator on the project that made it. Yeah. Basically, if you make a good game, you get good money. I actually was talking to the creator of Crab Champions. He agreed that any game that deserves attention will get attention. Right. But good could be subjective in a lot of respects. Like, it has to be good in the sense where it's like kind of modern to an extent, filling in maybe a space. Like, you can make a good game, but it might not fit anything. You know, it's just good because it's just good. It works, and those will do well. And I think maybe my game might fit within that genre. Maybe to an extent. I would say to an extent we're like good, but like a little bit unique, filling in a little bit of a niche or like a market kind of market desire, I guess, which is like the idea of like being like John Wick, I guess. But yeah, I do agree with it. I think if you make a really good game and you at least get it out there and show a few people, show some content creators and be like, hey, would you want to make a video like this? You know what I mean? Like, you got to at least show it to people to get the snowball going. You want to get it snowballing, right? You can't just be like, make a good game and then release it and then like, where's my shells? It's like, well, nobody fucking knows about it. It doesn't exist. So, yeah. Which version of Unreal is this? This is 4.26. Okay, let me turn off auto aim because it's kind of annoying me. We have so many settings now. Okay, there we go. Oops. So it is blending between the two. I kind of like this value because it's more gameplay centric. It's not like too cinematic. It allows you to get right back into the gameplay so you can immediately aim at the next enemy. You know what I mean? I think that's a huge part of this. I don't want to be too cinematic because then we break up the flow too much and then it's like very difficult to get to the next shot, which I think is so integral to the game. So let's see if maybe we can find a sweet spot where we can still make it look cool. You know, there's only one way of testing this. Playing in the video game. Do you think that making YouTuber bait games, like those rage bait or cheap horror games, the kind that make a great material for Let's Players, is a good business model? Is it a good business model? I don't know. I haven't done it myself. I've heard stories of people having issues with that, where if they have a game that's way too short, people tend to refund the game. And then there's a lot of situations where if the game is so linear, someone can just watch a video or a playthrough of it and they basically experience the game because it's linear. In my opinion, I think a really good horror game is one where it makes the player want to play it because they can experience it in their own way. Right? I feel like Resident Evil is one of those. It's like, you know, it's good enough and it has enough gameplay to not be so linear and kind of walking simulator-esque, but it actually has like something to it where there's like maybe a little bit of skill required to get through challenges. You know what I mean? I think is really integral to making that work. Otherwise, it's just going to be YouTubers and then people watching the YouTube content and that's it. They don't really care for it. You could lerp the XYZ independently keep more of the hype, but then be in between more on XY. Independently, so keep more of the hype. And right, I could do that, Geo, right? Well, that's why I did, instead of me doing the head, I'm doing the static value of 69, which is our original camera location. Because doing the head can be a little too jerky. So I think by doing this, we kind of get a good value. Let's try 0.6 for the alpha, though. Let's see how that looks. And then let's just test out the gameplay. See what it looks like. Here, Freddy. Let's just see how it looks. And always, you know, we could always just put a setting in to enable and disable this kind of stuff. I don't know why that death sound. Damn it. I don't know why that death sound made me think so much of, I gotta put a checkpoint in this level as well. One of those deaths sounds like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder. I don't know why. I think I'm more doing a separate lerp on the X, Y, and Z. I think I see what you mean. So instead of doing the entire thing as a V interpolation, we instead do separate float lerps. Z could be more of the player location, X, Y could be more of a mix. Right. I could do that. I do kind of like the Z moving down, but that is one of the integral reasons as to why it like becomes so... Whoa, I didn't get the indicator. Something is happening there where the camera moves in a very awkward way. I don't know if you guys see that. It kind of moves in a very awkward way. Fuck that van. That van's annoying. I like the sound effect, man. It's really subtle. The attack indicator. Us changing that. I think we did a good job of making that sound effect feel a little bit better. It's subtle. At some point, I didn't even notice it was there. But it was enough to tell me, hey. You know what? What if we also check something? It's a nice subtle fart noise. It's not a fart noise! Let's do this. Enemy being executed, health is more than 0. So in that way, once they die, we immediately go into the next thing. I think that might be a good improvement. Maybe. Perhaps. The game looks incredible in first person? You mean third person? But yeah, thank you, Freddy. It's not a fart. I think the grunt sounds was a great addition. I think it was a great addition. It adds a little bit of like a comical element. I can't aim. Kaboom. I think that felt pretty good. The instant he died. I think we should change the interpolation speed. I missed again. I'm sure I can hit someone's feet there. Alright. Do I have a tutorial by any chance on how to do the enemy indicator around the player? I don't have a tutorial on that. What's the best way of like giving like a idea of how to get started on that? It's a separate actor that gets spawned and attached to the character. So that's the first part. And then it's a tick that constantly aims itself from where it's at to the enemy that's attacking. So that's the first part. The second part is spawning it whenever we want to spawn it. And then we just have a lifespan on it of like 3 seconds. So it will delete itself after 3 seconds. Oh, interesting. We can't go through there. We do a thing where every time an enemy is given an attack token, we spawn the actor, and then we just give it to the character. So, like, that's... Without giving you, like, a tutorial that it directly tells you, that hopefully at least gives you, like, a direction to kind of get something going. God, the enemy AI... Oh, I should have gotten hit there. God, it sounds like a horror game. The fucking... Goodbye. When's the full game release? Can I reset my level or game? I'll put a button where you can clear all of your data. So you'll be able to do that. Now, in terms of when it is, I'm hoping within the next week or two. I don't know. It just depends on when the localization gets all done and when we have the game ready. You know what I mean? Is it when an enemy is close behind you? Yeah, so in third person, there's that indicator that appears around the character. That indicates when an enemy is about to attack you from like a spot where you can't see. And the sound effect will play when that happens, so you can... So there you can kind of hear it. Was thinking of a widget in post-process. You can also do that too. I do think a static mesh is a bit cheaper than a widget. Why are the doors fucked? Because you kicked it? No, it's because it's but. I think the door's having a mind of their own adds to the gameplay. Yeah, it adds to the gameplay by making you pissed off. Is that us adding that, like, timer to the door? Oh, God, hold on. What did I do? What the hell did I do? Where the hell am I? Interaction? No, damage. I need to find damage. No, that's not it. Damage actor. There we go. Focus. I think it's that 0.1 second delay thing that we put in. And I think the delay is just maybe not long enough. 0.05. I think we need to increase this. 0.08. That door's missing. What's a level with a bunch of doors? Ocean Drive? I like that these guys blast through the door, headshot two of your buddies, and you're like, yeah, I can take this guy with my bat. Yeah, action movies, what can I say? You know what I mean? Wait, do I have a task in for that? Remove occluder on the cloth entrance. There we go. Where? Hey, I got something for you. Never mind. That was a joke. Isn't there an enemy in here? Did they not get aggroed? We need to give those things a masking material. What? See, like, dude, look, the occlusion just... I see the enemy through the wall. There's a guy right here, apparently. Nope, there's not. I was lied to. What you looking at? Don't do anything. Okay. The camera looks good. So it's super hard delayed till tomorrow. Don't start that shit. Oh yeah, it's also like clipping through here. We definitely got to give it like a masking material. So you added ghosts to the game. Does that now fall into the horror genre? This game is always horror. Take a swim. How about you too? Okay, break the glass. Freeze my game. I thought that freeze was gonna last a lot longer. The finisher moves are so over the top. I love it, man. It's so great. It's gotta be. We gotta have a couple that are a little bit over the top. You know what I mean? Adds a little bit of spice. Big fan of the new death sounds. They add a lot of character. We should make it so if they fall underwater, they go. You know, Wendy? Is that the first Crimson? I need to eliminate all the enemies in the room. Oh, there's this jackass. There we go. He's like, what's going on? What happened to everybody? I'm hacking. I kind of don't like that they don't get all aggroed when we get in the club. You know, we're in the club. Let's make it feel like we're in the club. Okay. Don't mind me. Uh-oh. Why aren't they dancing? Isn't it a club? You know, they're just kind of standing, they're sticking around, they're just hanging around. You know those people at a club that just kind of sit around, they don't really do anything? That's me, by the way. Oh, fuck. Well. We gotta really get a different bat animation, but I don't have any. What? I want to be able to slam zombies into shit. So there's a lot of things that I think I would have loved to put into this game, and I'm probably going to put into future games in terms of like enemy, active physics during combat, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to, like, in a game, somehow grab an enemy and, like, do shit with them. Is that crazy? Am I psychotic? A psychopath? Why, you got, like, 4 more years with suits? Nah, man, I'm moving on. I'm moving on. We're going on to the next thing. Where can we buy this? Also, people have been playing early access, or you've been adding to it? People have been playing early access, yeah. And there's the beta branch as well, so you get access to the latest features, albeit there's some bugs and stuff, so you can kind of help out with catching bugs and reporting them and stuff like that. A lot of people have been reporting stuff, so thank you, by the way, everybody. But yeah, it's on Steam. You know, Fanta. Why is the club so bright? Because I don't want people complaining that they can't see anything. In the early days of the game, people were like, the game's not bright enough. I can't see anybody. It's like, you know, maybe we should have just made it so you don't see anybody. Maybe that's a feature. Yeah. Ship it now, Crim. Hit the button. We still got some bugs and stuff to work on. Anyways, 3PP. I like the camera. I think it feels good. It doesn't get too in the way of the game play. I feel like you can immediately aim at the next thing. Hell yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Where's all the flashing and blinking lights? That's true. How long of a time did it take for you to get this game to a playable state where you would accept it as a game that people could buy? I don't know, 4 years? 4 years, I guess. It's still not in a state where I'm like 100% happy with it. Well, I would say realistically, maybe it took 2 years. So it took us 8 months to get into early access, but I would say we released it way too early. But at the time, I didn't know that we released it too early because I was still a doofus. So, what's the beverage of choice when you click the full release button? Straight fucking alcohol, 80% moonshine. We going in? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Water and a coffee, I guess. Water and a coffee. Water in a coffee? No, water and a coffee. Although water is in a coffee, technically, so, you know. Also, any plans for music? We have music. We have music. I just play with it turned off, just because it gets in the way of the music on Spotify, I guess. YouTube stream does not hear the music because YouTube would shoot me immediately within like 5 seconds. So if you want to hear music in the background, Twitch stream is there. I know not everybody wants to go on Twitch, so that's completely fair. I want a Crimson singing soprano ending credits song, please. What the shit? Oh, you know what's something we should do? Do I have this on my list? Sitting in silence now makes sense. Yeah, we're not sitting. Well, yeah, it feels pretty weird. Yeah, sitting in silence. Yeah, definitely must be a weird feeling. YouTube chat's probably like, what stupid thing is he gonna say next? Bethesda is a horrible game. No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna get into that. I gotta get some more water. I'll be right back. Check out the gameplay. I'll be right back. Hello. You guys think Crim Dry is a sick ass convertible? Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. Crim only uses an e-bike. Not even the normal bikes, the e-bike, because if I use a normal bike, I fucking die. I got no cardio in me. Bro, I go on a 10-minute walk and I'm dead. On the ground. I don't even have my driver's license. Guys, just hear me out, okay? When I become rich, which is probably going to be never, I'm going to buy a really nice Ferrari or something, or a Porsche, and then I won't even have my driver's license. I'm just going to put it in the living room. It's going to fill the entire living room, but it's going to be a Porsche in a living room, which is pretty fucking cool. Don't know if it'll fit, but we could figure it out. And then I'm going to put my gaming PC in the Porsche. And then I still won't drive it because I don't have my driver's license. It's going to be the coffee table. Yes. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Yeah. Skateboards everywhere? Nah, man, dude. I would not trust myself. I would not trust anybody around me to be on a skateboard in public, like to go to places. Hell no. Even being on a bike is low-key dangerous here in Toronto. No, hell no. The one-wheel things, those are even worse. That's even worse than a skateboard. Those are scary, man. Those things are terrifying. You kidding me? All right, what's our next task? Somebody asked for a crosshair size setting. I was also thinking on top of that, we might as well go even one step further. We should have a crosshair type. So we have the default, which is a circle, but what if we do like the crosshair and then do like an X or something? What other kind of things would there be for a square? I don't know. We have crosshair color already, Zahib, so that's already in. So I was thinking like, yeah, a smaller dot. We have a whole section here for crosshair settings. You can change the hue. And there's a preview in here that shows you what it's going to look like versus a dark background and bright background. You can change the brightness of it. You can change the transparency of it. Yeah. A skull. Yeah, there you go. Will Superhire ever be moddable? I would love to make it moddable. I just don't know how to make it moddable. So you just go in your limo that's for your movie premiere? You, because you're Adam Driver? Yep, that's me. Adam of Driver. Mr. Driver. That's a cool name, though. Mr. Driver. Mr. Driver. Mr. Driver. We all get nice gaming rigs as well, right? You kidding me? You kidding me? I'm buying myself 6 luxury cars for myself, and they're not going to do anything with it at all. I'm actually not that big of a car guy. I think honestly, if I were to get somehow rich, this is an interesting question. If you guys were rich, what would you spend your money on? I think I would buy more guitars, like really nice looking guitars, and put them on the wall. And it's like, oh, dude, yeah. And then maybe I'd upgrade my coffee setup. And then maybe I would, I'd buy a house, obviously. And then I would buy... I don't know. A mouse that has a scroll wheel that never fucking breaks. That could be cool. They got any of those? Because I wouldn't mind having one of those. My scroll wheel always is the thing that gives out. Can we just, like, make a good scroll wheel? A canoe? You'd buy a canoe made out of gold? You'd buy a pool table? That's a good investment right there. Yeah, a pool table. I like how the guitars are before the house. Got your priorities straight. Damn right I do. The best gamer PC money can buy. What is that, like what's the best setup right now? Like a high-end AMD with like a 5090? Is the 5090 actually good? Get a Bri. Lots of Lego. Okay, that I agree with. Shit ton of Lego. And then I'd probably do like stop motion again with the Lego. Dude, fuck yeah. Yes. Dude, hell yeah. I'd buy the Millennium Falcon, the most expensive one. Get the Death Star. Get the fucking... What's the other things people buy? Star Destroyer. Dude, yes. Dude, hell yeah. Dude, hell yeah. All the UCS sets. Are the UCS ones the like kind of architecture, kind of real life ones? Is that what the UCS sets are? I heard people's 50s cards had the cable burn. Is that because they didn't put it in correctly, or... I made a French translate feedback pass in a Discord thread. I noticed you made a thread for it, Bri. I gotta take a look at it. Let me see. Personnalisez votre tenue. I write suit because for that one it's fine. Personnalisez votre suit, because suit in our world is kind of seen as like your character is like a suit, and I just use that as like a terminology throughout the entire game. So that one's fine, but sélectionner la série, reselect. Yeah, we could probably change that one. Compléter tous les défaits débloquera. Tous les défaits permet de débloquer. God, French is fucking difficult. Modifiant, modificateur. Yeah, I'll look at some of those, Bri. Yeah, I didn't even review all of the French text. I kind of just threw it in the machine translate and then just fucking set it up just to get a start on it. I forgot that you're Canadian, so you know French. I don't know French from Canada. I know French from my time of being born in Switzerland. But that being said, my French is not... I have lost a lot of my French, and there's a lot of complex words that I just don't know either. I just know the basics of, being able to talk with family and stuff like that. A 5950 X3D, 5090, 256 gigs, DDR5, and then 7K. That would cost 7K. I've heard that the AMD 3D cards, AMD 3D CPUs, are mainly just good for gaming. Is that true? Or, like, apparently Intel is still better for workstations, right? I don't know why that is. I think there was something about gigahertz or something about the amount of cores or something. Something like that. Play some Expedition 33 then. Can listen to some French. I'm going to be honest. Expedition 33 just does not seem like my type of game. I am Bri. I noticed it when I was testing it in French. I'm going to have to mark down quite a few of them. Like the personalize your suit. I think we can try to find a shorter term word for that. Like, what's customization in French? Customize. I don't know if there's a... I don't think it's English. Like, it's the same as English. Costume personnalisation. Yeah. Personnalisation. I guess I could just use for this one, instead of saying personnaliser votre suite, I could just say personnalisation. Personnalisation. God, that fuck. You see what I mean? My French is gone, man. Either that, or I make it so the button can scale itself based off of what's ever inside. That's another solution to the problem. I think the combat system is the best thing. I like the idea of mixing turn-based with active combat, like doing parries and stuff like that. That's cool. It's just it just doesn't look like my type of game, you know? I think I do lean a lot more into like shooting games and stuff like that. Like, yeah. You need to smoke more cigarettes for speaking French? Just from using the 50 cards, they've been... Oh, dude. Yeah, NVIDIA, I don't know, man. Listen. You either die a hero or live long enough to be the villain. And honestly, I think that is a very applicable quote that is even considered for corporations and companies alike. I'm sure Valve, let's be real, guys. Be happy about where Valve currently is. But it could, at any moment in time, you know, God forbid, it could go down the route of hell. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully, Gaben picks a good, like, person to follow in the footsteps, but you never know, man. It's the same thing with countries, you know? When someone comes into power, someone new, they might have different intentions, you know what I mean? Shit happens everywhere. It happens everywhere. Unfortunately. All my 6 years of French just went down the toilet the moment I got out of school. I'm sure once you like, if you were to like travel to like a French speaking country, I'm sure it'll probably like come out a little bit because you'll need it. I just lost 30 minutes of work, had to reset to an earlier branch because Unity broke some stuff. At least it was just 30 minutes and not like 8 hours, you know? Do you think that when a game has really good AI systems, will it be successful? I mean, really challenging game AI. I think the best game AI is actually not game AI that's specifically challenging in the sense of like they keep killing you. I think that it's specifically made in such a way where it is providing a specific, like, not a puzzle, but an element to it that allows the player to solve that problem and then fight it, right? So similar to like enemy AI, I think you can still view it in the sense of like a puzzle. Like when an enemy moves somewhere and you're kind of like as a player predicting those movements and then working around that. Like if they have weak spots, if they do specific action, you know, stuff like that. I do think good AI goes pretty far. It just really depends, I think, on the game. I think it really depends on the game. Like if we're talking like games like the types of games that I make, action games, I do think good AI does go pretty far. Would I say Suit for Hire has really good AI? No, there's a lot of problems with it. It's got, you know, it's not the best thing in the world, you know, admittedly, because it's like one of my first AI attempts and we're just layering on top of the shit. So introducing $9.99 per month to play your Steam library. It could very much happen. It could very much happen where you need to pay a subscription to keep access to your library. It could very much happen in the next 20 years. You don't know, man. Let's hope not, but yeah. Actually learn things and go and have its own intelligence. I really don't think that's a big factor of good game AI in terms of like enemy behavior and stuff like that. I really don't think them learning off of things dynamically is actually as big of a catch as it is. I think that, in my opinion, I view that as just I view it as like what's the word I'm looking for? It's fluff, I guess. It's like fluff. No, there's not a word. There's a word for it. I don't know what it would be though. It sounds a lot cooler on paper than it actually is. I don't know what the word would be. Yeah. Can I ever enter this room like as a base? You can't play in it. It's just kind of like a main menu space. In like a year ago, I had the idea of making it so the player can walk in this room, but then I was like, ah, fuck that. Nope. Screw it. Depends on the type of game. I wouldn't say the AI in Dark Souls is that smart, but then it doesn't need to be. I don't think any AI needs to be smart. It just needs to seem smart, right? But that being said, you could say Elden Ring is kind of a level up of the challenges that Dark Souls had, because they have they have like that whole delayed attack type thing, and they also take into account the direction you're moving in and the kind of stuff that you're doing, and then they kind of do moves based off of what you're doing, right? If I remember correctly, that's some of the stuff that they do in Elden Ring, right? I would say that's like a level up in terms of like AI behavior. Yeah. You know, I think those things are really cool, and it kind of shakes things up. Actually, smart AI in Hitman, for example, would be annoying as hell, I'd say, as they wouldn't fall for the same feints or stuff like that. That's what I mean. You can't make the AI too hard. It needs to prove as a challenge, but not to the point where it makes the player frustrated. Like, you can make AI really, really smart and really difficult, but is it fun? Like, does it actually prove as something that the player can potentially solve? That's when there's like that sweet spot that you gotta find, right? Because like enemy AI could just fucking shoot you instantly. In this game, we can make it so the enemy AI just immediately just shoots you the instant they see you, right? But there's got to be something that the player has to be able to solve or react to and whatnot, right? I think that's the biggest thing about enemy AI. It's about finding that balance. It still has to be like a video game, because if it was like real life, you know, and we take that as like smart AI, it's actually not that great. Did you mention being a Swiss? Have I ever yodeled professionally? No. No, I've not. Can you add a visual difference between destroyable walls and normal walls? I did notice that was a problem in third person. In top down, you can see like the inside of the foundation. In third person, it's actually very difficult to see that, which does kind of suck. So we might have to work on that. Some yellow paint? Yeah. Yeah, why not? So, yeah, in top down we have you can see the frame, but in third person it looks just like a regular wall. What could we do there? Maybe it has some scratches or cracks. Something that could be interesting is instead of making it painted, maybe we just make it unpainted drywall. But then that might look really weird. Like an unpainted drywall kind of look. I want the level of AI competence, like how they did it in Fear, where the AI agents would use context clues based on environment and actions used, like called goal-oriented planning or something like that. I think it's one of those things you just, as a dev, it's just one of those things you kind of play around with. Yeah, how are we going to make it so the player knows where the breakable walls are going to be? This is definitely a problem. This is a problem. First person! Pog! You could maybe add a little orange X inside of the crosshair when you point at the wall. I don't know if that would be enough of an indicator. Yeah, this is definitely one of those things that makes it very challenging between third person and top down for sure. Mold in the corners. How you doing, by the way, Imperious? Can you make it the walls slightly damaged its initial state? Maybe. How can I make it look like that? Vertex color. Oh, it's the inside. So this is the wood. This is the white part. So what if we multiply this by a texture? Ooh, that looks pretty rough. I want to see what that's gonna look like. I don't know how to... I don't know. Yucky. How Silent Hill did it, though, it's very obvious here. Oh, right, yeah, they did something, yeah. Yeah, we might have to do some, like... So check out Rainbow Six made it obvious. Rainbow Six, though, a lot of their walls were just destructible, weren't they? A lot of them were. Oh shit, this might actually work. We just have to... That could work. It's a bit awkward looking, but it could work. Let's try tiling it. I don't know if that'll look good. We'll see though. I think it actually looks good as its OG, just original tiling, because we see like the leaks on the bottom and shit. I kind of like that one. I don't think that's horrible. I think that one might work. Yeah, I think this could work. I could probably figure it out, Zahib. I could probably figure it out. I don't know how I would though. Let's see what this looks like. And I think the best example of this would be in the art exhibit, because we have a lot of like random kind of broken walls. Let's see your art exhibit. We'll see if we can tell where the destructible walls are. Oh, this level needs so much art. Needs so much work for third person. Don't look at that. Just ignore that. Don't look at that. Whatever you do, don't look at that. So that wall is destructible. No destructible walls there. My first impression of this would be it's just a dirtier wall. It is ultimately that. Like, it looks really out of place to the point where like it has to be different. You know what I mean? What I am noticing though, it's like super out of place. It also like is multiplying the initial color. Do you guys see that? Like we're missing some of this color detail that it has. I'm not sure if it was the multiply there that caused that. Why did I close it? I feel like it's supposed to have more detail. Maybe put a yellow X in the middle. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain what we could do. Without making it look really weird. I'm a bit weirded out about how like is it I'm not in the level. Let's just go to that level real quick. Art exhibit. I'm getting a bit of a headache. Ugh. Where was I? Right here. There's a very big discrepancy in color. I don't know if the mansion white material is like made differently. Oh, there's a grunge on it, which I think this one does not have. Oh, let's slap it on. What's the worst that could happen? Wait, no, there's a lot of shit going on in here. Never mind, let's not. Maybe that'll give it that differentiation that we need. But it does, I think it does need a bit more for third person. In top down it makes sense because it's you can tell it's different, but in third person I don't know. That's a bit of a challenging problem right here. Just looks so dirty. It just looks dirty. Add a bit of visibility inside of the wall to the bottom. To the bottom? You mean like so you can see some of the bottom framing? We could also try like giving the wall a bit of a bevel on the edges. Give it a bit of a bevel. That way we can see some of the separation going on. Do I still have this model? Where is this model? In the cathedral. Let me find it in Blender. Give me 1 second, guys. You could be a different texture and extend it for that whole wall section. It wouldn't make too big of a difference gameplay wise. It's gonna be the same thing since it's a single wall panel. The only problem is if I make the entire wall the same texture, it kind of breaks the idea of like being able to notice what wall is breakable. It does look weird and a little bit out of place, but yeah, this is one of those challenges. They're trying to figure out how do we make it look good from a gameplay standpoint so you know where it is. Where is this found? Environment Cathedral. I don't have that folder. I do. Just being stupid. I don't know which file it is. Cathedral modular kit. Okay, now we're in business. Here we go. Here is it. Here it is. Here is it. I can't speak. So what I was thinking is we take these two and we kind of scale them in a little bit. And that might give it a little bit of a separation from the rest of the wall. Let's see, does exporting it work? Is it going to export to the right thing? I think so. Hopefully that doesn't break anything. We're going to find out. I got to find the original file. Hold on. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Getting like a headache. Why not make it more exaggerated like Rainbow Six Siege does? I gotta see what they do. I don't remember what they do in terms of breakable walls. Let me look. Do they have like unpainted drywall for like the breakable walls? Is that what they're doing for them? You know what it might be? Maybe this music is giving me a headache. Let's try to listen to something a little bit more calming. How about I don't know. What's a calming playlist or soundtrack? What's a calming playlist? Mick Gordon. Yeah, that'll be good. Yep, that'll go well. The Prey soundtrack. Where's this file? Oh, environment, cathedral, destructible wall. Did add another collision that I don't want. I don't want that collision. I just want box. Huh. It's, oh, great. It's clipping everything so we don't even see the bevel. Well, that fucking sucks. I might have to make the bevel maybe larger. I'm also going to have to rebuild lighting. Breakable walls always look like drywall or wallpaper. Poopy. Can something like this work, like a construction project? Yellow paint, huh? Yellow paint, huh? Well, I'm glad you asked. Glass shattered decal. Yeah, let's see. No. Yellow paint, huh? Some yellow paint. How has AI not made making video games easier yet? I don't know. Don't ask me that question. I don't know. Stain decal color. I don't think I have any X's. I got a board decal. Okay. Okay. That's not it. Decal damage 0. That's just another color. That's some bullshit. Decal grunge. That's the hole to hell. Oh shit. The fuck is that supposed to be? Wall label. What? Decal plyo box yellow. Yeah. Huh? Some bullshit. Floor decal 01. Yeah, I don't have any X's. I think I'm gonna have to gonna have to get an X. I got leak decals? Oh shit. What if we put a leak decal on the top? Would that look weird? I feel like that would look weird. Wouldn't it look a little weird? Roller decal. B8. It's bait. 100%. How's development going today? I don't know. It's going okay, I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. You go to golden. Stain decal color black. Yeah, I'm sure that'll go well. Trim edge decal. decal. I think that's just a master material decal. What the fuck is that? You guys said this would be calming music. I feel stressed out. I'm gonna shit myself. Yeah, this is some horror music, man. I don't know about Prey, guys. Guys, I don't know about Prey. The Mirror's Edge soundtrack? Let's try that. You said the calming part after I sent the message. Well, I guess that's fair. Help me out here. Why is this thing so weird? Oh, it's because it's being scaled weird. Error. Yeah, yellow X could work well. I just need to make the decal. I don't think I have a yellow X. When I made X's, I think make an X with 2 little blocks. We also got decal brick splatter. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know how big of a... That's a 2048 texture! What? Why does it look like ass? If it's 2048, why does it look like ass? Decal crack. Yep, that's some crack. Like, we could use a dust splatter as well. You know what I mean? Right, guys? Decal acid splatter. Decal blood splatter. Now we're just picking anything at this point. Decal mud. Ew. Decal oil splatter. Ew. Decal pit. Decal pit. I got a headache. Oh. Ah. Decal snow splatter. Hey. Is that enough? I don't know. Is that different enough? Maybe we just need an X. Maybe that's literally all we need. We just need an X. X. Yeah, like a yellow construction X. Let's just take this road line that for some reason you can't see in here. I don't know why. It's there. It's there. There, you just don't really see it. For some reason. I think we just need an X. How does the decals respond to destruction though? Did you test it? I think it should be fine. I think it should be fine. Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out. Decal bricks, decal concrete, decal dusty, decal fabric, decal flesh, Decal metal. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to make a yellow Construction X material. I don't have one. Well, I don't think I do. I might. If I do, it's not called decal. Decal floor hole. Where's the hole? I don't see it. That's not a fucking hole. It's a leak. It's a leak material. Golden. Was I impressed by From Software's latest game? I thought it looked kind of cool. I thought a lot of people were giving it shit. I thought it was kind of like a good twist. How much does it cost? How much does the Night Rain cost? I thought it's kind of neat. Plays off of the fundamentals of Elden Ring and kind of makes like a almost roguelike-esque mode. How much is it though? Let's see, how much is it? Night Rain. $54. Make your game fast. In 3 years, AI will become sentient and able to do everything. Do you truly believe that, Hotel Soap? Or are you like memeing? If not in 3 years, how long? I don't know, man. I don't worry about that. I don't worry about that. I just do what I like to do. You know what I mean? I just like to do the thing. You know, I just like to do the thing. Dev arrow moving. I swear. Okay, we're just gonna have to make an X. Time to open up Photoshop. I hope I still have my subscription, which I canceled, and I think it's ending soon. Karim, I hate to break it to you, but the dev already imported ChatGPT, the Unreal Blueprint workflow, so now the AI can make blueprints. My job is over, guys. It's time to call it quits. It's all over. Night Rains is their testing grounds for the upcoming Dusk Bloods. I think it has the same multiplayer focus. What is Dusk Bloods? What is Dusk Bloods? It's their upcoming PvP VE game. It's a Switch 2 exclusive From Software is making. Do you guys have a link to it? Is there a trailer of it? Construction Yellow. Construction Yellow. They had a trailer about a month ago. The Dusk Bloods. Switch 2 exclusive.
My blood.
Oh wait, I did see this. Yeah, I did. There he goes.
Soon to depart.
I pray that you are able, carrier of blood.
Love the dinosaur, man. I do remember seeing this now that I think about it.
Slow and
Yeah, it's, I guess it's cool. I guess. We'll see how they do on Nintendo Switch with PvP. That'll be interesting. PvP on the Switch. A very interesting choice. Should I do an X with like edge stuff or just the X? I'm gonna make this look like spray paint. I think it's partially an FU to Sony. Look at Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six Siege walls. They don't really like. Like they got the yellow X for like the breakable barriers that they build. But I think the difference is that Rainbow Six Siege is making it very explicit when a wall is not breakable. When it comes to a wall that is breakable, most of the walls are breakable. So it's a little different in our case. AP.0, have a good one. Let's see, maybe we do edges and the main X. Let's see, I just gotta find a... I think this one I kind of like. Erm. This is not the thing I want to use. Splatter brush. That's probably more like what I want. Let's just try it and see what it looks like. I'll shave it. Destructible wall underscore decal. I might be able to put it directly into the texture, which would save us a little bit of computation without requiring to have to put it in the in a decal, in a separate decal, which would be very beneficial. Very, very beneficial. I've noticed there's no more photography and modeling gigs anymore in my area. I think companies just use AI generated photos to sell everything now. I don't think it's that. I think it's just that companies are just not hiring as much right now. Companies are just not really hiring in general. Not necessarily because of AI, albeit some companies maybe. Maybe they're just making fucking slop. But I think a lot of it is just companies just not really hiring too much at the moment. All right, so we got our destructible wall decal. So my question, instead of a decal, we'll, I don't know, turn off visibility of this thing for now. We'll clear the material. Let's go in the original material. So we have this damaged kind of look. What if we instead use the destructible wall decal? And then we multiply. Although I don't know if we want to multiply. I think we might want to add. Huh. What? Why is it not reading the alpha value? What the hell is going on? In here we have the alpha. What? Hey, the fuck is going on? What is going on? Yeah, but then it's only adding an alpha value, which is a grayscale. So it's going to be like black or white or something. Huh? This is fucking stupid. I don't think I've ever had to do this before. But I guess. Maybe I have had to do that before. I don't know. Maybe it is a multiply. I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't be, but I feel like it'd be an add. Multiply would do that. So I think this is not a height lerp. Not whatever that is. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to take this out. We're going to do a constant. We're going to do construction yellow. I guess construction orange. And then I think these values are technically inverted. Because this is 1 and the 0 is the white. Gonna be honest, guys, I don't like it. And maybe just because it feels too Photoshoppy. It doesn't really feel like someone sprayed it on. I think the edges look okay. Larger? Yeah, I'm trying to see larger, and then more straight. You're an artist, Harry. Bring. Don't forget your paint drips. Yeah, I do want to get some paint drips in there too. I want some scratchy brush. A scratchy brush. Something scratchy. I want something real scratchy. No. Oh. No. 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 Damn it. No. You don't texture of an outfit channel takes 4 times space. I understand that. I think right now the thing that I want to figure out is, can we make this look good, and then we'll optimize it. And we'll clean it up. Jamie, bring up the scratchy textures. Jarvis, find the scratchy texture. Motherfucker. Kick drum oil. Poopy shit. Not good poopy. Poopy, not good shit. Poopy shit, huh? Stipplebot. The fuck even? The hell does he mean, Stipplebot? That looks extremely pixelated. I don't know how to feel about it. What'd you call me? That's the name of the brush, man. What do you want from me? Yeah, look at the Rainbow Six texture again. Don't tell me what to do. No, I was kidding. Hold on. I don't want to copy Rainbow Six, guys. I don't want to copy Rainbow Six, you know? I don't want to copy them. I need to find something that, I need to find a nice middle ground. It needs scratches. This needs some scratches. You know what it also needs? Maybe like a, hold on. An up-down brush. What the fuck even? Skyline? What the hell? What the hell is that? What are these brushes? What is that? Underbrush. I hate brushes. This is why I don't do this shit, man. I don't do like... Let's try... You know what? Let's try that. I kind of want to see what that would look like with a little bit of noise around it. A little bit of noise. Whoever painted this is a jackass, and he like fucking rubbed his whole back over it. Let's not do that. Not good. What was I looking for? Ooh, I like the sharpness of this. You guys see what? Yeah. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Wait, hold on, hold on. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. Put your pencil down. Ooh, ooh. You see that? Like the little like cone and the Yeah, I like that. You know what? Jarvis, show it to me in third person. Wait, how is the level loaded? It's not supposed to be. Okay. How is this guy here? He's not supposed to be here. Uh-oh. Wait, how is this guy here? He's in Art Exhibit L1. How is Art Exhibit L1 loaded? Wait, I'm so confused. How is that level being loaded? Oh, it's a development build. Oh, okay. Good job, past me. You did good. That's really good. Yeah, nice. And then the paint doesn't affect anything else because it's just a part of the original texture. Why is there a big X on the wall? They need to repaint it. Which then begs the question, maybe we should just make it so it's like a gray drywall kind of look. Then we can delete the decal. And then I want to test something. Unpainted drywall. Why is it brown? Huh? It's brown? Attendez. It also doesn't have that normal map on it. It's supposed to be relatively smooth. So... 0.5, 0.5. That's not correct. Isn't it supposed to be just blue 001? Why is this? Did I do the incorrect values? Was I doing the wrong normal values this entire time, or was that like intentional? Guys, I'm working. Can you just not like attack me right now? Hold on. I actually think that works better. Because it looks unpainted, you know what I mean? What the? Ignore that. It looks unpainted, but then then hold on. I got an idea. Hold on, let me look at the references. Unpainted drywall. Okay, brown and then white. There's like a bunch of white strokes around the edges. Ooh. Is that too much? I think it's not enough. I think that's what it is. Okay, so hold on. Bit darker, bit more color. Apply. Watch this. Hold on. Why does it have to be unpainted though? Any gameplay reason? You can shoot through it, but in third person, you can't really tell that you could shoot through it. That's the problem. In top down, you can, but in the other views, it's a bit difficult to see. So that's why. I don't like it being too brown. I think it should still blend in for the most part, but just still be a little different. Okay, but then watch this. I have an idea. Photoshop? Did you guys see that? My Photoshop was not liking what I was doing. Okay, so hear me out. We take some white, and then I find a brush that looks a bit like what I'm trying to look at right here. Currency Brush AA. What the hell? Brother, that's a fingerprint. Is that your fingerprint? Noise bar. No. That looks wild, though. That looks wild. What if we take this one and reduce the opacity? Hold on. Okay, sorry. Wait, I just saw another paintbrush. Paint wet blocky. Go. Go. Not really what I wanted, but kind of cool. It blends it in a little bit. Okay, hold on. We're gonna see what. Hold on. First off, we gotta take the paint bucket, which I never use because like 90% of the time it doesn't even work. And then save this. We still have the yellow. Don't worry. We still have the yellow. But what if I do this instead? Okay. And then instead of yellow, by the way, we can use a red. And then this is going to be exactly white. Right? You guys see what I'm cooking? Right? Do I add the yellow on top though? That's the question. Do I add the yellow on top? I think it looks good. I think it's just missing a little something. Hold on, give me a second. All right. I want these to be a little bit more prominent though. Yeah. All right. I think that looks good. If you want to add something, add like paint buckets and small ladders around to sell the in construction vibe. The problem is we have so many places that have this wall now. I don't want I'm gonna have to put construction sites everywhere. Yeah, honestly, I think it's fine where it's at. I feel like it's pretty good where it's at. I do like the idea of maybe having like a couple somewhere. Like, I don't mind it. I don't want to overdo this too much. I just like the idea of like some imperfections, some human imperfections while they're like doing the thing, you know what I mean? Okay, let's not overdo it too much because then we just have one big wall of just color. Perfection. It's perfection. I think that shows enough that it's a destructible wall. You know, we got another one right here. Maybe it's part of the art to have unfinished walls. I think we have another one. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I feel like it's different enough. I don't think I like the metal sound that happens during a headshot. I think it just needs to be the goosh sound, like goosh. See, we got another one right here. There you go. I think that looks good. It's a ball of metal. That's the art. It's a ball of metal. What's going on in chat? Make it a simple blueprint script that generates some assets nearby it, somewhat randomly, so it doesn't look too copy paste until it doesn't copy waste too much time. I could. I just don't want to Yeah, I could. I'll think of like we'll put it on the list. But for now, at least it serves the gameplay purpose of it being able to now show to the player what's destructible and what's not, which was the whole point of this. It's not necessarily to make it look better. It's actually more so to how do we make it fit the part as a gameplay element. I think that was generally more of the concern rather than making it look good, but more so the communication of it to the player. I think that should improve it. It at least makes it a little bit easier to see in third person, and as well, I think it'll look good in top down too. So hopefully, I don't know, we'll see. It looks good when they're like side by side. This is two walls next to each other. That looks pretty good. Does the glass stop the bullet? No, you can shoot through the glass. Okay, cool. I did notice a lot of like unbuilt lighting in here, which I guess I'll build just so it doesn't cause any performance issues. Oh, L3 isn't even loaded, so let's just not. Continue with the build. Yes.
Shit my pants, I did.
Graphic Man, thank you for the prime. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Too kind. You're too kind. Okay, so that's good. We changed the texture of the destructive wall, which I think is good. We can delete that. Doesn't matter. I'm probably gonna regret that, but that's fine. What else is on the list? How long have we streamed for? 3 hours? 3 hours? Does the bullet of that first gun in the second row pass through these walls as well? I've never tried it before. It doesn't seem to work on the bushes outside the art gallery. Does the bullet of that first gun in the second row pass through these walls as well? You can't shoot through the bushes, like the big blocky bushes. You can't shoot through. You can't shoot through those. The bullet of the first gun in the second row. The nail gun? You mean the nail gun doesn't shoot through the walls? Oh, I guess that kind of makes sense. Oh, yeah. Because of how it works. I wonder if that should be a limitation of the nail gun. But at the same time, that's kind of shit. Let me it should technically go through. Let me write that. I would consider that as a bug. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Okay. Yeah, look at that. It blends in while at the same time looking different. we can check out another level that has the same thing. The cathedral. We'll be able to see how that looks in here too. Looks good to me. Yeah, I think that fits the bill. Blends in pretty well. The lighting here is a bit broken. It's a bit not good. It's a bit not good. Oh God. Got a redemption here from Monk.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Where the peck is? Where's the peck of pickled peppers? Peter Piper picked.
That's not how it goes. I don't think that's how the ending goes. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. That's not how the ending goes. I have to build the paths manually and then save it. Otherwise, we're probably going to have broken navigation the next time I release a patch. I love Unreal Engine. Navigation. You're lucky I don't save my points for push-ups. Be grateful. I thought you do. Don't, you've redeemed it before. Don't even lie to me. That's lying. All right, anyways, I got a bit of a headache. Really? Five. Oh. All right. I'm going to be working over this weekend, probably working on the trailer, which I have to do because I've been pushing that off. I'll see you guys probably on Monday or maybe over the weekend, but probably Monday. So have a great weekend. Thanks for dropping by. I got to work on that trailer. It's pretty important. Now that we put the camera thing in for third person, I'm pretty happy with that. I think I could probably get started on recording stuff. I think. Maybe. Yeah. Potentially. Okay. Goodbye. Have a great weekend. See you guys later. Enjoy yourselves and stay safe. Also, check out the beta branch on Steam. Early access. Okay, goodbye.